We're going live.
Well, Andrew Horn, thanks for coming on the podcast. First, Sam, should we thank our sponsor, Buck Mason? Great.
And we're twinsing right now?
Making masks too, Andrew. If you haven't gotten a Buck Mason mask yet, they're
highly recommended.
They're great.
Really great.
They're a great sponsor, and I would be thrilled to wear a Buck Mason mask.
Sam and I keep getting, all these emails, questions about the topic we're going to talk to tonight, and it's such a fascinating topic. Twins. Where should we start here, Sam? I mean, you've seen some of the emails we're getting.
I mean, it really comes down to a couple of things. One, why? Was there twins in the family?
Yes.
And then two, what did you do to prepare for it? Three, what are you doing currently to handle the man-on-man defense?
How do you handle the twins? Yeah.
At four, what time do you feel like you're no longer drowning? Those are like the real big emails we get. Those are the questions.
And a
Questions fans ask.
First-time dad to have twins. Wow.
I would think first-time dad, and then Warren, because you're first-time dad, you could tell us, because I'd like to know, Phil, do you think it'd be better to have one kid go through that and then have twins? Since you've had two kids.
Maybe if the kid was like 20, just help out.
Versus just having twins at the beginning and just being like, and I'm done.
Oh, yeah. Or the next one, if it's not twins, so easy.
Yeah. Then you're like, man, maybe we should have a fourth because a third was so easy.
Yeah. So how did this happen?
How did this happen? Well, so just some context for your vast audience here. I became the father of twins, a first-time father, as you were alluding to, on April 1st. I'm 44 years old, so a little late in the game to be having kids. And we had twins. But part and parcel, because I am 44, my wife's also above 40. Her birthday's coming up Sunday, by the way.
Oh, happy birthday. Should we sing to her after?
Yeah, I think so. Sing really loud, and she'll enjoy that. You're in the Central Time Zone. So we went the IVF route after trying a little bit the regular way. So my understanding is that twins, there is a gene that is hereditary where you can have twins or a higher prevalence of them, but IVF is definitely much more prevalent than the natural way. And so she went through several rounds of IVF. And because of her age and circumstances, they suggested putting in 2 embryos instead of 1. So, shockingly to us and even to our doctor, who's quite famous in this area, we had 2 boys. But they're fraternal. They were from the 2 embryos. It wasn't like one of the embryos split and the other one didn't take. So
yeah,
I think there's a much higher incidence of twins these days because of IVF.
Now, what's the probability that people have twins? What's like 1 in?
I think it's about 3%.
Okay, with IVF or?
Well, I think with IVF it's higher. 10+%. Depends what type you're doing and how many embryos you put in. They only allow 2, I think. So
after Octomon, they got rid of that.
Coronavirus headlines. Here's what we're tracking for you this morning. First,
we're not allowed to talk coronavirus.
Yeah. Delete.
Although I will say, so my wife gave birth on April 1st here in Chicago, which was right at the outset of the coronavirus. So that was quite difficult, but we made it through. So that's good.
So now when you do the 2, so you do 2 embryos and you fertilize 2 embryos, right?
You fertilize 2 eggs.
Yeah. What if they had said to you, maybe we should do 3 or 4?
I don't think we would have done that. They used to do that years ago.
Warren could have been Octodad.
I would have That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been like
That
twins, too easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what was happening is people, they would have triplets or whatever. And, that's, I'd say it's sort of
So they don't do
exponential,
that.
called
So they don't do
risky.
that anymore.
No.
Okay.
But, twin births, a lot of people, they're more commonplace these days, but they're riskier. So I don't think my wife would be upset with me saying, she encountered severe preeclampsia, which has a much higher incidence of happening when you have twins.
Got it.
So our twins were born at 34 weeks, 6 weeks early.
Yeah.
Those are concerns that you have, but, typically it works out. It worked out for us, thankfully.
Yeah. When you have twins, are they usually born early? Are they like common?
No.
Okay.
So they wanted us to get to 38 weeks.
Yeah.
I think most twins, the average or the median probably is 37 weeks, but they wouldn't allow you to go past 38 weeks. But it's, as I said, it's much more common that you have some prematurity with twins. So I don't know the exact numbers, but we were in the moderately premature category, but our twins had to be in the NICU for 6+ weeks.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
but yeah, so that's how we had them. It was after several rounds. You were asking, I think, next about how do we prepare for this?
Yeah. What were you asking next, Sam? It was, how do you prepare yourself to have 2 kids when you're a first-time dad?
Yeah. Because like Phil having a second kid, you've already gone through the gambit of a first kid, so you kind of know what to expect and what to do.
Well, the first one, you're just like, it's so complicated, but having 2 of them, do they just have, is it like at the beginning, you're just totally overwhelmed? Are you overwhelmed times 2? Or is it just, are they sort of one overwhelming thing?
Well, I don't know. I don't have a frame of reference like you do because I didn't have the one kid, but the way that somebody explained it,
nothing really overwhelms you.
Yeah, nothing. But the way that
collective,
I think explained to me, I was going to say earlier, at least with the risk factor, but I think you can sort of apply this to other things, is that it's almost exponential. So,
yeah,
if it's maybe not twice as much difficult, it might be 4 times as difficult. And then if you have triplets, that might be, 16 times. I don't know.
Did you build out a model? Did you build out an Excel model?
I want to write down the numbers.
Or 8 times.
We're calling this, okay, so go back, what'd you say?
Well, I don't know that my numbers hold, but the point is I don't know that it's a linear thing.
Yeah.
I think that there might be some logarithmically escalating riskiness as well as difficulty. Yeah.
Horn's Law.
Horn's Law of twins.
Should we get a Wikipedia page for this?
If you get it, yes, Horn's Law. So
Horn's Law. We'll start it.
yeah, that to me are they always in a similar place, or are they in 2 different locations and you're like balancing 2 different worlds?
We try to keep them in a similar place, try to keep them all on a similar schedule, which, obviously you can't be, if you're just the one person handling them, you can't be burping them both at the same time, effectively at least.
Yes.
So,
Does the dog help? Do you have the dog help burp or something?
yeah, you could do that. So as we were discussing before the recording, we have the help of a night nurse, which is cute. But so she does a great job. I would say actually,
one night nurse.
Look, I haven't had one night nurse.
Is it a special night nurse?
She does specialize in twins, and there are very few night nurses that would do twins. So it costs a little more.
Amazing.
Not exponentially, according to Horn's Law, but actually that's where you can save on the economies of scale.
When she shows up, is she just amazing?
She's amazing.
Yeah.
We love her.
Would you describe?
You can hear me say that downstairs.
I want you to describe her a little bit, because some of these people that are night nurses are like, I mean, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Like magicians.
I think you were telling me about they have some fly rides in the LA area too.
Yes.
They do pretty well, particularly in the age of COVID. But no, she's fantastic.
COVID,
She,
no politics.
No, that's fine. The age of COVID is fine.
Oh, okay.
okay. You can go back and
Age of COVID is okay.
all
That's
right.
just a timeline reference, just a reference.
Today is Thursday, July 30th, 2020, the age of COVID.
Yes.
Peak age of COVID.
Well, by the way, so before I go into her, I would just say that I didn't have kids before having twins, but I would imagine that is more difficult, having twins after having another kid, even though you have the experience of having the one. If your other kid is only a few years old at the time, I think that makes it really difficult. So,
okay. So you're saying having 3 kids is harder than having 2 kids.
yeah, call that Horde's law also.
I like these Horns laws. This is good.
Yeah, I got a million of them. They're all called Horde's laws.
So when you're with them and you're alone with them, do you try and you feed them at the same time? You change them at the same time? Like if one has a diaper, do you just automatically change the other diaper?
Well, we typically change the diaper before or after you feed them, before you put them back in their bassinets or their crib.
Okay.
So yeah, you want to keep them, sometimes it's 15 minutes difference or so, but you don't want to have it like an hour plus difference, or else you're going to have one who's up, the other one's crying. And I mean, you tend to have that anyways, but it's going to be exacerbated. So.
And is there one twin that you're better with and Sam's better with? Like, do you guys go, that's
like, do you have a favorite? I think is what I was trying to ask.
Not favorite.
Pretty close to asking that.
I was more like,
I don't know that I'm better with either of them, but
handle one. That's me over there.
Yeah. Look, they're very different personalities, because we're talking about fraternal twins. By the way, identical twins, I think by nature are, they share the same genes, so they're very similar. Fraternal twins is just like having 2 siblings. So they share 50%, but they can be quite different. They already seem quite different. I'd say we have Ethan and Max. Ethan seems to be more like me at this point.
Okay.
Looks more like me. He acts more like me. He's a little hyper like I was when I was younger, at least. So
yeah. So now do you look like the community of folks that have identical twins? Do y'all that are in the community of folks that have fraternal twins, do you kind of look down on those people?
No, I don't think so. Maybe
is it like outsider, where it's like the 2 groups just
I think it might be the case that the identical twin parents look down on the fraternal twins, because they're probably thinking, well, they're not exactly the same. I think there's probably a closer, more tight-knit group amongst the identical twins. Oh. But, identical twins, I think, are something like 5 times less likely to occur than fraternal twins. So there are many more fraternal twins.
When people say
so you're a majority.
Yes.
So when people ask you like, you have twins, do you say like, oh, we have these type of twins? Do you have to say we have these type of twins?
Typically, no. I mean, if it's, not a long conversation, we'll say I have twin boys.
Yes.
And then some people will assume that it's identical, and then I'll correct them or let it go.
They just look similar because they're little to other people.
Yeah. Although, people, not just us, can tell them apart. I was concerned, talk about the preparation, that, I wouldn't be able to tell them apart, but they do look considerably different. With identical twins, what they'll do is you might paint a toenail on one or both, different colors, so you can keep them separated, because particularly when they're babies, they're not going to have as many distinguishing characteristics if they're identical.
So Phil doesn't have twins.
Wait.
He paints his toenails.
So I just can't believe
twin at heart.
what you just said. So they'll paint a toenail. Where did you get that from?
I think it started with the nurses probably to keep them separated properly.
Have you heard about that, Sam?
Yeah.
You have?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, because they look exactly the same. So you're trying to figure out one or the other, or if there's like a birthmark or something along those lines to identify.
okay. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So on the preparation side, look, there's not much that you can do to prepare, but my wife, she was pretty vigilant about going on various websites, forums for twin parents.
Okay.
We also took a class over 2 nights called Twinversity. That was actually really good.
Was that an online or an in-person?
That was in person.
Okay.
Is it still allowed in person or no?
What's that?
Is it still allowed in person or no?
Probably not right now in the age of COVID.
Are they applying for a waiver?
Yeah, in the state of California.
Yeah. So you guys took some classes.
Whoa. Back up. Twinversity?
Twinversity.
So are you friends with the other alums?
Well, I don't think we're particularly close, but online, my wife is friendly with some, I imagine.
Did you update your LinkedIn to say graduate of Twinversity?
I didn't, but I should do that immediately.
Did you? I have so many questions. Are you allowed to go to Twinversity? Is it Twinversity?
Twiniversity.
Twiniversity. Okay.
Twinversity.
Yeah.
Should it be just Twinversity? Twiniversity. Okay.
I don't.
Maybe we should start our own. Twinversity.
We'll call it Twinversity.
Why is it
Ivy League of
Why
Twins.
is it
Foreign
Twiniversity?
law is at
Why isn't
Twinversity.
it just Twinversity instead of Twiniversity? Oh, is it Twinuniversity?
Twiniversity, like
Like university, but with Twiniversity.
yeah, exactly right.
Now, were you guys in the class for, was there 2 classes for twins or just one, all of you together?
It's just one at the time, but we were actually there early on because I think she was less than 20 weeks pregnant when a lot of the girls there were 28, 30 weeks pregnant. But that was good because it gave us time to prepare, make sure that we were aware of stuff that we would need to get, make sure that we covered off items at a place like Bye Bye Baby,
Yeah.
baby registry. So that was helpful, making sure that we had everything in place. What also helped us inadvertently was the lengthy NICU stay. So we were able to, build up to being ready for them to come home. So
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how people do it if their babies come home immediately.
One. Now, Horn, did you guys use the SNU?
I think so. What tell me again, what's the SNU?
It's a bassinet that kind of moves and makes noise.
Well, I'm not sure that we use that one. I'm familiar with the term the SNU, but
There's a new one, I think, right? That weighs them too right now.
we did the pack and play bassinet and then another more standard bassinet.
Are they in the same bed?
They are not.
They're right
They're
next to each
separate
other?
cribs, and they just started going into cribs, but they've always been in separate bassinets also.
This would be the SNU.
Okay. Screen sharing. That's, oh, yeah. We didn't use that, but it looks like that as part of a pack and play. So
Okay.
sort of like a bouncy room.
Yeah.
So when they sleep, are they on the same sleep schedule? Sleeping next to each other?
They are,
Laying
yeah,
down at the
they
same
are.
time?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes, one will wake up the other, but surprisingly, there are times where one will be screaming and the other will be sound asleep. So
Wow. How's that?
That's amazing.
even though they're
Probably
right
the way Jen sleeps when I snore.
Yeah.
Just goes right through.
Are they like best friends?
I think they will be. To be honest, they seem to get along well, but at the same time, they seem to be more focused on themselves and us as opposed to the other. So, every day something we do is we do a photo shoot.
Yeah.
Where we put them together in various outfits.
Yes.
And, that goes a few minutes, and they get along fine. They haven't started fighting yet. I mean, they're only a few months old, but
Are they matching outfits?
they tend to be matching or complementary outfits.
And when did you come up with this idea?
This was Samantha's great idea.
Oh, at Twinversity?
I think she probably got it from there.
Okay.
Adopted it.
Is it like this?
It's just like that. I think they're going to look like that soon.
I think you should do it like this. I think
it's
it'd
a
be amazing.
underrated movie, by the way.
So wait, how often are you guys doing photos? Every day?
Every day. So we have a iPhone photo album where lucky recipients get 10 to 30 photos a day. From
Did you set up one of the rooms as just like a photo room?
No, we do it in different places. Our favorite place right now is a dark chair, which looks sort of like a photo studio.
Yeah.
Because,
there's ways to share your screen. Maybe you should bring that photo up.
That would be great. I want to see this.
Maybe what I'll do instead is I'll pull it up on my phone.
No.
I'll take today's and see.
That's like a gym move.
Jim would just walk away.
Jim
would walk away and just disappear for a while.
Our old host, Jim.
He just disappeared.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to disappear. I've got my phone right here.
So you're setting these outfits out the night before?
My wife does.
Okay.
Maybe you can see this.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
That's pretty good. That is awesome.
Yeah. And they love it? They just hang out there?
Yeah. They sit up, a little bit.
Yeah. Are all the shirts and outfits, are they like words that form together, like two pieces of a puzzle?
I think that was the first time we've had the piece of the puzzle. Yesterday's entree was this. Okay.
You need one should we get a peanut butter and jelly one?
That'd be a good one. We would welcome that. But the problem with all this stuff, is that just like with regular singletons, as we call them, they grow out of this stuff every few months.
Hold on. What's a singleton?
That's when you just have one baby at a time, as opposed to multiple.
Never heard about this, Sam, have you?
Putting this in my Horniversity.
So when people have one child and they're raising one child and they say something like, oh, my child didn't sleep last night. It was very hard for me. Do you just sort of laugh at them, or
you go, ha, ha.
How do you?
Look, I get it. Thankfully we have the night nurse. So if you don't have a night nurse, the few times that we haven't had the night nurse, we're tired.
Yeah.
So
no, I wouldn't laugh at them.
Okay.
Even if you.
So you've had a night nurse now for 4 months. Oh no, because they're born April 1st, so 2.5 months.
We've had them since mid-May.
May.
We've had the night nurse since mid-May, so.
So 2.5 months.
2.5 months.
Of the 2.5 months.
Yes.
How many nights have you not had a night nurse?
Fewer than 10. And I didn't sleep much any of those nights because, as they're this age,
yes,
basically they go max 3 to 4 hours.
Yes.
Maybe slightly longer now. The goal is to get them to go 6 hours through the night or whatever, but because they're preemies, they're less likely to go sleep longer, right? So that's actually extended. So, as preemies, by the way, I don't know if you know this, you basically, the way that they act is going to be in line with what their actual 40-week birth date would have been. So in this case, they came 6 weeks early at 34 weeks. So now they're 17 weeks old, but they really act like 11 weeks old.
Oh.
And that's really how you gauge their progress in size.
Oh, that's interesting. So do you have 2 birth dates for them?
No, we just have the one, but if you hear that, other babies are walking at 9 months or crawling at 4 months or whatever.
Yes.
You have to keep in mind when ours aren't that
Yes.
they're 6 weeks behind. That said, they'll converge, I guess, over time.
Yeah.
Over like 18 months, 24 months, then they should catch up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Horn's law.
Horn's law.
Yeah, I made that up.
Okay. Okay. Well, I feel like Horn just did a really good job of sort of saying, like, setting the bar really low to be like, well, give them a few weeks. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good at setting the bar low.
Horn, when you're doing these photos with this outfit, they wear it once and then do you return it like Phil does at Costco, or do you let them wear it all day?
Well, I would say in the age of pre-COVID, we would probably return them, but now we're letting them wear it for at least a day.
So do you look at it and then you're like, oh, we got this great outfit, and then you're like, oh my God, did we wear this outfit last week? And you got to go through like the photo album?
Well, I don't, but my wife might. So, but she's pretty good about keeping track of that.
You said there's a select few that get these photos every day.
Yeah. Why are we not on this list?
I don't get the photos. That was going to be my next question.
To it if you want. If you
Who's
want
on
to be
the list? What
really
if we
receive them,
found out-
I think you'll last.
What you should do is you should do a different group settings. So like there's like the tight knit immediate family gets every day.
Yeah.
And then like the secondary family, like Phil and myself, that get it like once a week. Just like a photo.
Can I do that? Like, is there a way that it randomly sets that up, or do I just have to remember it?
Yeah. No, you can just do it through something called text.
Okay. Yeah.
It's this new technology. It's part of the 5G network.
It's a new social media company.
Text.
I think I could even do that in 4G.
Ooh.
I'll look to do that to you. I'm sure you'll
Phil
love
can send a calendar invite reminder that's every Thursday at 8.
Yeah. I'll be a little bit late to that. How often are you just hopping in these pictures?
Not too often, although just recently for bedtime, I was in a photo, if you want to see one. But who does show up in the
Are
photos?
you wearing a matching outfit?
Yes.
Is it like twins and you're
This
the
is a
S?
whole different situation. This was nighttime, so this wasn't a photo shoot per se, but I was reading to the boys.
Okay.
What do you read to them? Like Econ 101 books, or are we like just bedtime stories?
We're trying to work up to that. I tend to read in Spanish because I want them to be bilingual.
Okay.
Today was The Hungry Caterpillar.
Oh,
All right.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Yo tengo hambre. Caterpillar.
Very good. Let's see the picture.
Well, this is a busy photo, but you'll also see in the corner there a little furry animal.
Oh,
He likes to
yes.
film him. He likes to photobomb.
Oh, my God. That's awesome.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's a good picture.
What does the dog think of the babies?
So that was a concern of mine.
Yeah.
Very, very sweet dog, but he's only a little over 2 years old.
Yeah.
And at first, we brought the babies home. We thought that they were going to come home together, but because they were having these things called bradycardias, not named after Tom Brady, but basically heart rate drops. They would have to go 5 consecutive days without them before they could be discharged. So
Wow.
one of them came home a week earlier than the other. So forget the question. Please repeat.
How'd the dog do with the
Yeah. So first night that we brought the one home, the dog surprisingly did great.
You renamed your dog the dog?
Simon's the dog.
Simon Horn?
Simon Horn. Simon Hyman Horn. He was great. He was curious. He would stand up on his hind legs to try to take a look at him. He'd get up close and lick him.
Yeah.
But the concern was about biting, and he didn't do that. We didn't really have to discourage him.
Yeah,
So good. But then a week later, we brought home another baby,
Yes.
And then he definitely seemed like he needed some, like a psychiatrist, because he wasn't getting the attention that he used to get.
Yes.
And I think he was expecting a new baby every week. So, so it took him about a month to get okay. Now, something that the dog does that shows a little bit of jealousy is that anytime we go to feed the babies, together with my wife, we'll take the bottle out. It's a whole process. Right at that point in time, our dog, he likes to play catch. He'll bring over a ball when we have no hands available to throw him the ball. And then he'll start pouting about it. So then we have to figure out a way to throw him the ball while we are feeding the boys. And that's become sort of a routine that we would like to avoid. But other than that, it's great. So this is interesting stuff that I'm sure your audience is interested in.
Have you seen Feast?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you haven't seen Feast?
Did I see? Was that like a horror movie? Is that what you're referring to?
No.
Okay. Are you pulling it up?
Yeah. This is so great about podcasts. How much time do you have? Like 4 hours.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'll maybe fast forward through some of it, but it's very good.
You're the parent veteran amongst us.
You get the
You've seen these.
point?
Hey, Horn, this is what I recommend for the dog and the babies. Peanut butter, and then they're friendly.
Yeah.
God, that's amazing.
Just a little peanut butter.
Yeah.
We brought home stuff from the hospital, and then that imprinted on Brady. And now she's insanely protective of the kids.
Yeah. We did that too. I mean, look, Simon's been great with the kids, but he does get a little jealous.
Yeah. Well, he was an only child for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Want to talk about Bitcoin?
No, Sam, what were your other questions? What about gear? Is there an entire world of
do you have when you're buying a baby Bjorn, is it 2 or is it 1 in 1?
We have 2 separate baby Bjorns.
Okay.
And we need them.
Have you ever worn a Bjorn on the front, a Bjorn on the back, and have both kids on you?
Well, I think at this age, you need to have them looking towards you.
Oh, yeah.
Front, okay. Right? As they get older, I guess you could do that.
Yeah.
But first off, I defer to my wife on most of the gear. I was in charge of the cameras, but most of the stuff she's in charge of. But we actually won a double snap and go, which is, you take the car seat and put it on top of
oh, those are cool. Yeah.
And that we won that at Twinversity. So paid for it. That was great.
Is that for valedictorians? How did you win?
We were just lucky. Everybody won something, but that was the coveted prize. And
the coveted prize.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, but we recently got a single snap and go, because what we found is, sometimes it's good for one of us to wear the baby Bjorn, one of them, and have a single snap and go. So we have all sorts of stuff. I'm not sure where we're going to put it all. We've got the double side-by-side stroller. That was a big decision because, these strollers, they seem to, there are many varieties of them. You can have
That's really wide, right?
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, so you can have the tandem or you can have the side-by-side.
Yes.
And so we had to make sure that would fit through a standard doorway.
Yes.
Which it does. So it's not super wide, but figured that having them side-by-side is better. We haven't used it yet because you don't use it until they're 4+ months.
By the way, 2 of our 3 conversations so far, we've had side-by-side conversations, Phil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who makes that side by side? Is that a donkey or something?
All sorts of folks make it, but this is I think a city jagger.
Okay.
I'm not sure who the ultimate is, but the donkey is very popular. Up a baby is popular, but these things can get expensive.
Just jogging through Chicago, Sam.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's he doing?
Sam is riveted by this conversation.
Do you, when you are using the double wide, do you have to wear the little sign on the back that says wide load like they do on the streets?
You don't have to, but Governor Pritzker is going to mandate it soon.
Okay.
Okay, no politics. It's hard for him to mandate anything when he's in Florida.
Yeah. Rip it out, bathrooms.
So double wide, and that will grow with them.
Yes.
Did you have to go get a bigger car?
We did not have to go get a bigger car, but there was a contemplation that we would get another car, which we haven't done yet. That said, I did end up getting an SUV about a year ago. So before we had the boys, before Samantha was even pregnant, but in anticipation that we would need additional room over a sedan.
So you traded in the Boxster for a
Volvo.
Yeah.
XC90.
It was a Polestar, so it was a good
Volvo for a Volvo.
Yeah.
It's very safe.
Well, a Polestar, not exactly.
I just like the gear. So the gear stuff, you have to buy things. How often can you buy things that are made for twins versus two things? Is it usually you're buying two things?
No, I mean, yeah, a lot of times you're buying two things, but there are certain things like bassinets where you can get them made for twins. So we would get them made for twins. We wouldn't get two separate bassinets.
When they're sleeping at night, are they in bassinets or are they on their cribs yet?
So they just started their cribs about a week ago.
And are the cribs next to each other or on opposite sides of the room?
They're next to one another, but they're not exactly side by side. They're sort of
Head to head, head to toe.
head to head.
And
they're
you use
4-in-1, by the way, so they should be able to turn these into beds over time.
And then like do WWF, like jumping off the top rope to each other.
Yeah.
Now, did you have to do multiple cameras?
Multiple questions there. So
I asked, did you have to do multiple cameras
we did.
instead of one up at the ceiling?
So
you know a little bit about Vegas. They have those like eyes in the sky that look at the whole room.
Why did you just do one further back? Why did you do that?
So well, I think it's good to have a separate camera on each, but we have one monitor. Not really thrilled with it. The battery life sucks.
Yeah.
So we just bought 2 new cameras in addition that we need to set up, but those cameras were a lot cheaper, but I think they'll be just good because I think they're cheaper because they don't come with a monitor, but the monitor would be your phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to have a phone app.
So the original cameras didn't work out?
Well, no, we're still using them, but they're not.
The battery life wasn't good.
No, it's not good.
So the original cameras, they did not work out, but they didn't work out as well as you thought?
Yes.
Okay, hold on one sec. I want to go back to my notes here.
Okay.
Was the camera, did you originally, a few minutes ago, say that the thing that you worked on
Was the cameras? Yes.
Okay.
I picked that up. I picked that up.
Mediocre follow through on that.
I just think you should have gone the Vegas eye in the sky and just done one up at the ceiling.
So yeah, going eye in the sky is the right route. Problem is that, I could do it, but we don't have a ladder. And in this age of COVID, don't really want to go out and get one just for that. So we're making do, but I think in time we'll do the eye in the sky.
Phil, do you have a ladder at the house?
Hold on. I'm going right now on this thing called the internet where they have e-commerce and buying Horn a ladder and sending it to them.
Yeah, that'd be appreciated. They should sell those at Bye Bye Baby.
Okay, here.
I'm sure they have it at Amazon.
I
but
recommend you buy it from Harbor Freight Tools.
Can't
Or-
pay
yeah.
with
Home Depot.
can't pay with Bitcoin.
Ooh.
I just bought a ladder actually for Juliana from Home Depot, but we did curbside pickup. So I don't know if you have that option, but I think they'll deliver it. It's
Yeah.
a 3-foot ladder. So those are ladders that have like 3 or 4 steps, and at the top you're up about, I don't know, 8-9 feet, something like that.
Well,
Yeah.
6 feet plus 3 feet.
Yeah,
9 feet.
More shorter than you. So I
you
might
get
need
your 3
a higher
feet.
ladder.
The 3 feet. I don't know if you can get up like all the way. I don't know if you get up that high actually.
Yeah.
If
I
you
don't
were
know how
trying to
to measure
paint,
it.
you could do it.
It may be like 3 feet. Now I'm interested.
Did
I
you
don't
use
know.
a ladder for that photo, that portrait of Brady behind you?
Where's the 3 foot? You think, is it there, or you think it's here? It's the hypotenuse for the ladder. It's more like this.
I
Like
think
that.
it's the,
Like
height,
that.
the vertical, not the hypotenuse.
Or is it like this, Phil?
Yeah,
But it's really just the tip. Just the tip.
that's the tip.
Wow. Okay. I mean,
Sides, one tip.
what other thing? I mean, when people hear you have twins, do you find,
They buy you drinks, or do they just say good luck?
or are women just really attracted to you because they just feel like if you can handle that, then they want to?
Well, I would say, women have always been attracted to me, so it's hard to really separate out if
Point.
it's because of
Very
twins.
good point.
Yeah, especially in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, especially in Austin, Texas.
Or one time, Sam
Yeah.
broke a leg on an electric bike accident, carrying, what were you carrying?
I don't know what I was carrying.
Some beer,
Yeah.
bottles of beer. I think it was what's that brown bottle of beer you used to like? It's like Honey
Guinness?
Brown, or
I don't know.
it was Australian, maybe Foster's.
Yeah, it may have been Foster's.
He broke his leg on an electric bike, hobbled into a real estate office in Austin where there were these 3 or 4 women there. They took care of him. We couldn't find him.
Yeah.
That night he went out and he was dancing up a storm. I mean, I've never seen someone dominate that city like Horn did with a broken leg. Was it a broken leg or a fractured leg?
It was merely a fracture, like a hairline, but it hurt.
In what? The tibia?
It may have been the tibia, or I think it was the tibia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
No.
Great if somebody could pull up a photo and share it, but I don't know if that's allowed or not.
An X-ray. Yeah. So
I'll have to look for that, but I think one of your other friends did pretty well in Boston.
you were saying people have always been attracted, but now once you throw in this twin,
Multiplier effect. Now, would you say girls are into you more like with twins at a 4 or 16x factor?
According to Horn's law,
Just
that's what you would expect. It's hard to gauge because I'm trying to social distance, but probably so. I would actually say, going back to Simon, that when he was a pup, that would be like a 64x.
okay.
That's so I think really what you want to do is, if that's what you're looking for, is get twin puppies.
Wow. Okay. Are you're obviously super busy. Are you spending enough time on space right now, Horn?
I don't know that I am spending enough time on space.
What do you think about like investment banking around aerospace and defense as it relates to space right now? Is there enough going on there?
Honestly, I don't know, but I know that Elon Musk has done pretty well with SpaceX. It seems like the private investment is the way to go to pair up with NASA. And, I think that with the success of that and with the success of Tesla, I'm sure the banks who are financing in that space are more willing to do so.
Yeah. Would you go to Mars, take the whole family, one-way trip, if you got there and you were staying at basically like an Amman property? or some, Southeast Asian amazing hotel?
Well, maybe if it were a round trip, if I had a return ticket.
No, one way. But you get the whole
They
family.
have the pools like the Aman properties do in Singapore.
Yeah.
Okay. Would there be other folks there?
Yes.
Oh, well then sure. Why not?
There'd be other folks there, but you'd be surrounded by, say, like you'd have a pod of people and be like 5 other families, and they all have identical twins. Would you go?
That'd be a scary proposition, but I'd probably still go.
What's the name for people that have twins? If singleton is like, that's the derogatory term for people that have one child. What's the name for?
I don't know that's derogatory.
Sorry, I didn't mean derogatory.
Just say multiples.
Multiples? Okay.
So Horn, this is some stuff we've done research on. This is what would pull up in Chicago that you would jump in, and then we would drive you somewhere to launch you.
Okay. Yeah, looks like it could get the job done.
Phil would be right here. You would, and the family in here,
Yeah.
and then straight to Mars. Actually, I take that back. It wouldn't be straight to Mars. It would go to the International Space Station for a stopover, refuel, resupply, gone.
Yep. Have you heard
That's
about?
what we're working on.
Have you heard about the companies making pods off the ISS now, Horn?
I have not heard about those companies.
Wonderful companies. They're making pods connected to the ISS, and then eventually they're going to have the pods be separate pods away from the ISS. So you'll travel up there, do research, then go to the next pod, then the next pod. They're kind of like gas stations.
Truck stops.
Do you think that truck had enough wheels? Can you go back to that picture for what Horn is trying
Before
to
you
do?
do, how many wheels do you think it had?
I think it probably had 24 wheels.
I think that's a good guess. Let's check it out. Oh, too many.
16.
16.
Maybe the one we need is 24.
Yeah.
What about where are you guys counting 16? Because I know there's a minimum 17.
Was there a wheel and back? I'm looking at the 8 on the one side that's visible.
This is not a trick question. I'm not challenging you guys at all, but I thought you guys would have seen at least 17 or known that there were 17.
Are you talking about because of this wheel?
Yes.
The steering wheel?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think the truck nuts on this thing look like?
Oh, so good. Yeah, Horn, I mean, I'm worried you're not spending enough time on space. You're obviously busy right now, but, don't you feel like, especially in this environment, that living, in a Las Vegas type environment off Earth could be a great option for you?
It could be a great option for me. So hopefully that, it's one that comes to fruition.
Yeah.
What's your expectation around that, Phil? Since I know that we had a personal bet that I'll share with our large audience here about the amount of self-driven automobiles by 2020. I think we made that back in 2015.
Oh, that Tesla's shares would be at 300?
No, I think it was, you indicated that more than half of vehicles would be self-driving by 2020. I took the under on that.
More than half would have the technology to self-drive?
No, that they would actually be self-driving autonomous vehicles.
I don't know if I
think you were a little hasty with that one, but
are we counting Uber?
Sure, let's count Uber.
Okay. What
I
about?
would say Uber pre-March 13th, maybe.
Yeah.
Are you sure I didn't say VMT? Because we should put in the cars that are doing all the mapping and how many miles they drive a year.
I'm pretty sure.
Are you counting the tractors that use the GPS to just Back and forth.
Yes. Is that, are we saying miles or are we saying hours?
Ooh,
I
hours.
think we're saying number of vehicles.
Oh,
Well, send me that text chain that we had on that, or
can
that
you send that
message.
screenshot,
Be
please?
more verbal, I bet, but we'll look for it.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll just get you
You
some
can just
cameras.
edit that out.
I'll just get you some cameras and we'll call it even. How about we all take a look at what should we do? Maybe a 5-minute chart of Bitcoin. Oh, what is going on with Bitcoin?
Oh,
What is wrong with Bitcoin? I mean, look at this. This is a nightmare. Look at the last, what is this? Look at that. The last 10 seconds there. See it?
Yeah.
the worst.
High and then low. Wow. It's not good.
People dumping before the end of the day so they could
Yeah.
buy in low.
No, see, Horn, this is what you don't understand. There is no end to day of Bitcoin.
All right, I understand it now.
Yeah. When your day ends, Bitcoin's day is still going. When your day begins. Okay.
I'm more of an Ethereum guy.
Oh, you are? Okay, good.
Yeah.
So, have we touched on everything twin related? Do you think our listeners will get a sense of, how amazing Horn is and
I don't think so.
Horn's loss?
I think you're good. Sounds like you're prepared minus the camera issue, but everything else sounds good.
Yeah, basically, I should leave it all up to my wife to deal with.
Isn't it ironic that you
I think
got
that's called life.
Yeah.
wrong?
Isn't it ironic that what?
You got the camera issue wrong?
Yeah, I think it's ironic.
It's
You would
like-
expect to get that right.
Because autonomous cars drive through like cameras, and
Yeah.
so, like you would have thought, like, I don't know, you were right on
Well,
that.
maybe if I would have gotten paid on that bet, I would have been able to
Oh,
afford nicer cameras.
What was the payout anyway? $10?
10 grand.
More than that. I want to say it was
10 grand.
about 10 Bitcoins
10.
Oh,
at the time.
Wow, that's a lot of.
I got some KuCoin I could shift over to you.
Oh my God, 10 coins. That's like okay, should we start?
Yeah. Start
Happy-
recording.
Should we start singing?
No, we still got to talk about a couple other things.
What else? Elon.
Elon Musk going to Texas.
Yeah, Horn, what do you think?
I think that's the right move.
You think he was just going to diversify his manufacturing footprint anyway? Like it was just.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Trump's taking credit, not to be political here, but for that move. But I think he was going to go to Texas anyways. It makes sense. It's a lower tax state. You live in California, so you know how overregulated it is. It seems like based on his various tweets that he's exasperated with that.
Yeah.
I think with his tweets too, it makes him look good when you have officials making comments to him, and he's like, and that's why I went to Texas. He probably already, it was basically waiting for the tax credits to be approved. Then it was like, okay. And I mean, an education force. You could do University of Texas, all these other schools there. Massive amount of kids.
You know, Horn Sam's playing a gym over there, falling asleep.
Yeah.
Horns in Chicago, you have these like great
Oh
athletes.
my.
Yeah. Jim was on one call, Horn. You know
Jim Mino?
Yeah, Jim that you know. You know how Jim and Horn know each other really well?
I do.
Death matches.
Yeah. Right.
Words with friends.
Oh.
Who would win most of those?
Well,
He's pretty good, right?
I want to be modest.
Yes.
We haven't played in a long time. I'm
Yeah.
not quite sure. We didn't play that regularly. I think I held my own, is what I'll say.
Yeah. Auger was in there a little bit too.
Yeah.
Auger would be good at it because he has such, I'd say, obtuse language that he'd use. Or you'd be like, I don't think that's a word. You have to go look it up.
Now, did you read his manifesto that he shared?
Let's talk about that.
To be honest, I
On the
didn't.
Musk- on the Musk front. Let's talk about the Musk front for a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're in Chicago. There's these iconic sports heroes, right?
Yes.
Jordan. Could you ever imagine a world in which Elon Musk would be like, I mean, he is
The Michael Jordan of.
right now, I think he's probably the most important person or top 10, top 20, people like really respect what he has to say now. It's the most bizarre thing ever to me. Rogan, I get, right? He does UFC. He does these podcasts.
He's purportedly moving to Texas also.
He's moving, yeah. Too many people in California. But did you see this coming with Musk? Where Musk could become like the everyman or like a normal blue collar or you know, what I don't know what he is exactly. Like Bezos.
Look, I would probably say maybe 2 years ago, no, when he was in the midst of his SEC battles.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not wholly surprised.
I think the Twitter helps him by being the normal guy because he makes comments and you're like, I agree with that.
And
Like, okay.
Well,
And you're
he's
like,
also got enough clout now that he's able to speak like the everyman.
yeah, he can speak freely and not care.
Yeah. He's got, not just FU money, he's got F me money. So
yeah. So that's what you think it is. But Bezos has that. Why doesn't Bezos do that?
well, we don't want to be political here, right?
Yeah.
So, but I would point out that Bezos owns the Washington Post.
Exactly.
Okay, well, Danielle, thanks for coming on, Andrew. We're going to stop the recording here.
I feel like I'm being cut off early for the political talk, overly political talk.
Nope, no political talk was used, but